hello to everybody. You see the affiliation, it's written here, where in my education also in the other lines. I'm not an MD doctor, but I have my PhD degrees and the Master of Public Health. So the subject will be quite different than all the subjects that were presented till now. The subject of the study is the link between body mass index, BMI, and bone properties, muscle strengths, and motor coordination in boys and girls aged 7 till 9. Okay. Now, the background of this study is examined the relationship between weight and 3 health indicators: bone properties, muscle strengths, and motor coordinations. These 3 health indicators are crucial for young children during the developmental stages. So the first one, I want to the term bone properties. Bone properties, the term refer to the quantity, quality, and mineral density of bones and bone mass. So it recognized that the maximum peak bone mass in aged up to the mid-20s may provide an important protection against fracture risk later in life. It means that the peak bone mass means that we can try to accumulate the maximum bone mass through the mid-20s. And this is a limited time of life that we can come to this peak. Now I want just to determine the muscle strength. Muscle strength, it means like the ability of the muscle to exert force during general activity. So it's very important to have a strong muscles, since you see we have the ability to perform motor skills, to do the endurance activity and all the balance, and to have a balanced fracture posture, and prevention of injury, and helps preparing the body for future sport activities. Also, we know from the literature that low muscle strength can lead to restricted mobility and distorted posture. And the third cluster is motor coordination. It's defined like the degree in which the various parts of the body are synchronized to perfect one task in the same time, and attaining the most efficient movement outcome. So if there's a lack of motor coordination, the result in activity, is avoidance and just lead us to sedentary behavior. So what are the aims of the study? The aim of the study examined the link between weight categories of young boys and girls, and the bone properties, muscle strength, and motor coordination. I want to say that we examined very young children that newly enrolled in the education system. So a cohort that represents unique challenges for the researchers due to the children young age. I want to admit somebody's coming, okay. The approval of the study. The study was approved by the Helsinki Committee of Hillel Yaffe Hospital in Hadera, Israel. You see the number. The study recognized also by international request of NHI. Here is the number. And also it was approved by the National Education Authorities in Israel. So I want just to say some sentences about the rules of the Helsinki Committee if you just conduct a study of children. So all the children from the participating school and the parents received information in all the study meetings and also in written information. At least one parent of each child signed an informed consent form to participate in the study, and it's all in accordance with the Helsinki Declaration of Human Ethics Board. Okay, who are the participants? So first, you see the study sample. There are students or children, 144 boys and 142 girls, almost equal number. And also they come from primary school, very similar socioeconomical background and middle class. So the two schools were similar with the background. Okay, I want now to introduce the instruments in the method part, the instruments of the study. The first one is a QUS. QUS, it measures the bone properties, and this is the number of the device. Later, the next slide will show you the picture of this apparatus, and also the measurement were taken in two places in the body, at the distal radius and the tibial shaft. So this is the picture of the device, and I want just to say a few words about this system, about this device. This method examined bone properties and offered the advantage of being unbiased concerning the bone size and surrounding soft tissue in young children, because children all the time grow up. And also, it is very important that it doesn't involve irradiation, and it's portable, and it's very portable and easy to bring the apparatus to school. And therefore, it's appropriate to use children in school setting. So I want just to say that all the measures that I just represent here were all performed in school environment. Okay, now the other study instruments are for measuring the muscles, the muscle strength. We have four measurements. The first one is standing long up test. You can see it in the picture. And what is the participants, you see, stand on two legs and has to jump as far as possible from the marked line here on the floor or on a mat. So all these field measurements are reliable, and they're supposed to be the best field measurement that we can do, not in the laboratory. The second measurement that also measure the lower extremities of the body is vertical jump test. The vertical jump test is a participant is in the starting position, standing the side towards the wall, and that jumps. There has to be an extended arm, and also the hand. You have to sign on the wall the best vertical jump, and the best one from 3 experiments. They're supposed to be recorded. The two others for the higher extremities or muscle strength test is the static pull-up test. You see the performance. The participants has to detach his legs from the ground and has to be hanged and his head and chin over the bar. And we count the seconds he can stay in this position. And the last one of the muscle strength is this one. It's called modified pull-up test. In the modified pull-up test, you count the number the participants raise his chest over the bar here, and that's it. You don't detach. You can be attached to the mat, not different from the previous measurement. Also, now I want to represent the 3 motor coordination test or measurements. That's taken from the Keeper chilling test for children. KTK is one of the famous and well recognized motor coordination test for children, and we use three tests from this from all these tests. They offer 5. We choose 3. The first one is moving sideways of the box. I want to explain what we see. There are two boxes. One, you see the participant hold one platform in his hand and stand on the other one, and he has to change his place from one platform to the other, and we can we count the times he can do as soon as possible. So of course it's a coordination to do it very fast, to change places from one to the other. The second test is high jump on the right or left foot. It's like consists of hopping on leg over the obstacle, and its obstacle is a stack of forms that can be higher and higher until the final successful jump, and the final successful jump is recorded. You do it on the right foot or in the left foot. No, both foot. And the last one is sideways over a wooden beam. It means that subject perform jump from side to side over a small beam. We count the number he can do it as fast as possible. Okay, and the last one, and the last instrument is the BMI. You know, everybody knows what the BMI measurement, and we just weigh the children and just measure the height and do it. We have the value for the statistical analysis, like the BMI values. Okay, and now I want one word of the statistical analysis. The statistical analysis try to find the linkage between the BMI and all these 3 measurements I just presented it to you. And also there were several multiple analysis of variance by Manova, and they performed separately for boys and girls to see if there's a difference between gender. Now I want to show you the division of CDC to weight categories. The division of the CDC means the Center of Disease Control. They divide the division of them are 4. They divide the BMI to 4 categories. The first one you see, the thinner are from the 5th, from the 1 to the 5th percentile, and the group number 2 is between the 5th percentile until 80th percentile. This is the most of the population is here in this group. It's normal. Group number 3 is between the 20th percentiles till 95 percentiles. It's overweight, a little bit fatter than the normal. And the last group, number 4, is the group from 95 plus. This is the obese group. So this is, you see the distribution of our study by age and by these categories. You see the boys and the girls are different, and there are the 4 categories. The girls have the 4 categories. You see the numbers, and the boys have in the underweight. They're no boys. They're all they have only 3 categories: normal and overweight and obese. And this is also one reason that we just share the statistical analysis to boys and girls separately. So we see now the results. Here is the bone properties, the cluster of the bone properties. Here's the cluster of the muscle strength. And this is the cluster of the motor coordination. I just explained what's written here. This, you see, this is the obese. This is all. Now we just do the analyze for the boys. You see, I just signed it in red color. You see the difference of the obese from all the other from the other groups, and all these three clusters are the same difference between this group of the obese and the other groups. Now I can show you the GERS results. It's also, so we see it's written here, it's really marked here in red. You see it's also in the bone properties, in muscle strengths, in all the 4 measurements you just saw now. You just see see my presentation. Also, all these 3 measurements of motor coordination. This is the left right. This is the right. This is left leg. This is the right leg. And also, it doesn't matter which leg. They are different significantly from other groups. So now we're coming to the discussion. Our study reveals a significant differences starting in early stages of life between obese children, it's both boys and girls, and children between them and the other weight categories. Also, with all the clusters in bone properties, in muscle strength and motor coordination. You remember this, they are very young children from 7 till 9. So it's very early age. Also, we want to point out that there's a very interesting paradox. If we just refer to the bone properties, and we see that there's a link, and there's a link between the weight. If you are obese, your bone properties are lower, and this is different from adults. What we found in the studies of adults? Obese adults have better bone properties compared to normal weight adults. So children, well, obese children and obese adults are really different. If you just wanted to talk about the bone properties, and we have to refer it because they say that if we talk about the risk factors of adults, they say, okay, if you are fat, you have no risk factors for your bone properties, and children is an opposite. So obese children, we found in studies, other studies, that obese children tend to engage in physical activity less often and the lower intensity than normal weight children. Normal weight children in this age tend to engage more in physical activities and in higher intensity. Maybe this is one of the explanation between this difference. So the poor performance of obese children in the muscle strength and motor coordination is probably connected to the sedentary lifestyle and lack of physical activity in general. So what else? We have to point out the difference. There's no difference between children in the overweight, the third category. They are similar to those with normal weight categories, and they are different from those in the obese category. So if you're just a little bit fat, is really different from being in the obese categories. Okay, so it's very important to separate the 2 categories. So conclusions. Physical education teacher and health professional in school need to start the process by using structures observation to monitor the direction and intensity of the physical activity just for the young obese children. Also, what is very important, it's important that the group or individual activity for obese children include also impact activity that apply a load when we want to strengthen the bone. We apply load by the bone, by the weight of the body on the bones, at the upper and also the lower part extremities of the body. And exercise, and also in the program, the recommendation are that to commit and exercises that strengthen upper and lower body masses and coordination exercise. I want to add something. That the strengths, one of the strengths of the study, were that the study conducted in irregular classes, where the children were divided into weight categories in the study. We're not choose special condition, just a regular class at the school. And the student represent a cohort of normal population in children health, which enhance the importance of the finding, because only a limited number in the literature find out and carry out in this, and also in this age cohort. Okay.